What's up everybody, New Men back. Welcome to a brand new video, and today we're going to be doing another Pacific Rim news update. So this one's going to be a little different. We're not going to go through multiple bits of news. We're going to go through one article published by Entertainment Weekly, and we are going to break down everything that it talks about for Pacific Rim Uprising bit by bit. So, starting out, I just want to make this clear. I will be going over all quotes from the article, so I'm not going to talk about every single thing the article covers. I'm going to cover a lot of it, but I will be mostly focusing on characters and Kaiju and Jaeger stuff. So here's all the important character quotes we have, and we'll break down what they mean. The first quote reads, "With a name like Jake Pentecost, it is fitting that John Boyega's character in Pacific Rim Uprising has a backstory that's particularly biblical." I don't know why. "He is the estranged son of Stacker Pentecost." I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right. I still feel like no matter how many times I watch that movie, the names, the way they pronounce them all weird, so I never know. Like Raleigh, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that one right either, but Stacker Pentecost, aka Idris Elba's character from the 2013 original. So, obviously, we already knew this, but it's just kind of important to mention that John Boyega will be playing the son of Pentecost from the original. So now we have a little bit about the setting. So it says, "But a decade later, the world is still a burdened and battered place, and the creatures are making a comeback." So basically, this gives us a little bit of the plot. It takes place 10 years after the original, and the Kaiju are coming back. Of course, we knew that the Kaiju would be back, because otherwise there wouldn't be a movie. And it does make sense that it would be 10 years after the original. And to paraphrase, then we find out that Jake Pentecost was this up-and-coming Jaeger pilot. He was going to be like this kind of star, I guess you could say athlete in a sense. Like, he was going to be top tier, like the best of the best, but he had an estranged relationship with his father, and certain events played out to where he didn't actually wind up becoming a Jaeger pilot. Sounds like it's because Stacker's attention and faith was more involved with Mako rather than with Jake, and it's revealed to us here that Mako is now the Jaeger minister, so she helped save the world last time, and now she's in charge of the whole program this time. Now we know that Rinko Kikuchi will return for the sequel. I don't know if I pronounced her name right either. I'm really bad with names, aren't I? But we have the exact quote here. Says she will be returning for the sequel, unlike previous co-star Charlie Hunnam. So now we know for sure he's not going to appear in the movie at all. It's said that in this new Pacific Rim, Mako will be kind of protecting over Jake for at least a little bit of the story, because it sounds like later on he gets himself into trouble and she can't protect him anymore. And it sounds like the way we'll start out the movie, Jake won't be involved in the Jaeger program. He's going to be a low-level thief who's stealing for a living. He's going to be kind of like this black market dude who sells Kaiju and Jaeger parts. And it sounds like there's going to be like these scrapped together Jaegers. So the quote reads, "The masses of poor huddle on the coasts have decided to start building their own giant mechs," which we do see a little bit of that in the trailer, and we'll cover that in the trailer breakdown. There's going to be these kind of like other Jaegers that aren't involved with the Jaeger program, that were built out of the old Jaeger parts and are kind of like these scrap metal, these smaller, lower level Jaegers that will be there to try and defend against Kaiju on the coast levels. And now here we get a little bit of context for something that we see in the trailer. Again, we'll cover this in depth in the trailer breakdown, but it is said that we are going to be meeting a new character. I don't know if this is the character's name or the actress's name. Oh, I should probably look that up for next time. Her name is Charlie Hunnam. She is an amateur Jaeger pilot who built her own Jaeger. So we do see the Jaeger in the trailer, but only briefly. It sounds like her and Jake get involved in crime together, and they break a little bit too many laws and are caught. This results in Mako not being able to protect Jake anymore. He's outside of her jurisdiction, it sounds like, and so he's kind of forced into the Jaeger program officially. And it sounds like he's going to be a teacher for the start of the movie, so he'll be teaching kids how to be a Jaeger pilot, which is probably why we see him in that training video for the combat, join the Jaeger program, that thing. And now that he's back at the Jaeger program, we find out that he's going to be reunited with his old friend named Lambert, aka Scott Eastwood's character. I finally learned his name. And the two of them are going to co-pilot Gypsy Danger together. Gypsy Avenger, wow. So we did have some theories coming out of the initial Comic-Con teaser trailer that maybe the Jaegers will be solo piloted this movie. It sounds like there will be dual pilot systems still, and it sounds like Gypsy Avenger will be dual piloted. Of course, we do see a little bit more of that in the actual full trailer, but back when the original one came out, we thought that maybe there were going to be some solo Jaegers, and there are, and again, we'll cover that more in the breakdown, but there are solo Jaegers, but these big ones, these big official Jaegers will be dual piloted still. Now in terms of Kaiju quotes, it turns out that I guess the Kaiju in this movie are going to be a lot smarter and stronger than we thought they were in the first movie. And of course, you know, they say in the first movie that there was already a test run on Earth, and then now there's a new test run. So in this movie, it sounds like there's no more test runs. They know what works on Earth and what doesn't work, and they're just going to send what works. So they're going to be like just cloning monsters that are Kaiju that are going to be able to do the damage. And it is stated that the breach that they closed in the first movie wasn't the only portal into our dimension from theirs. Which makes sense because a lot of us, including myself, leading into this, were thinking, how on earth does it make sense that we'd be able to get back into having Kaiju come into our world when we close the portal, when we close the rift? There is no Pacific Rim hole open anymore for them to come out of. So it turns out, I guess that's just one of many entrances that they had. So maybe an Atlantic Rim situation going on? I don't know. But it sounds like the Kaiju are going to be a lot smarter and have very specific plans for Earth that Jake and crew are going to be defending against. In terms of Jaegers, we find out that Gypsy Avenger is going to be an upgraded Gypsy Danger. Of course, we already knew that. This is where it's confirmed she's still a two-man Jaeger, but she has a lot of new weapons and technology this time. Actually, you can see a little bit of that new technology on Gypsy's chest piece, where now she has 2 nuclear core reactors built right into the front so that it'll be able to do more damage. We do see the return of the plasma cannon and sword for Gypsy. I'm sure we'll see a lot of other returning weapons as well. It's said now that the inside of the helmet will have LCD screens and holographic images so that they can see what's going on outside. I'm not totally sure how that works in the original. I think they were just looking at a big screen, but now they actually have holograms that they can interact with. So they say the gravity sling is much improved from how it was in the first movie. And they do say that the pilots are no longer locked in by their feet, probably so that they can't get torn out and killed anymore. And also so that they can do more flips and stuff. It's said that Gypsy Avenger is the strongest and hardest to operate. So I like how, I guess, the idea is the harder they are to operate, that means the stronger they are, which is kind of cool. It's a nice way to balance it, I guess. Then it's stated about Saber Athena that Saber Athena is the fastest Jaeger and the most agile, who has 2 pilots just like Gypsy Avenger and the previous Jaegers, but they know martial arts, so it'll be cool to see like the cool kicks and stuff that this Jaeger will probably be able to do. It's also funny because I feel like the Jaegers would have to be built for the pilots who are in them, because if you think about it, if you have basically, it sounds like they get the pilots first and then they build a Jaeger around those pilots. Remember in the first movie you had those triplets, so then they had the Jaeger with 3 arms. In this movie you have it's Saber Athena, who is piloted by people who know martial arts, and Saber Athena is really agile, so it sounds like they're like, you're a good Jaeger pilot, let's build a Jaeger for you. Like that kind of, they don't have like a Jaeger and then they're like, all right, now let's look for a pilot for this Jaeger. They're like, we have the pilot, let's build them a Jaeger. So it's just kind of funny. And Boyega does confirm the agility of the Jaeger when he says that Saber Athena is the most flexible and very fast. And we also do see another thing that he talks about, which is the dual swords that Saber Athena will have. Saber Athena will have 2 swords that she, or I guess, you know, it's a Jaeger, but whoever the pilots are, if they're women, I guess, she can click into one so that it's one big, sword. We get an official name for this Jaeger here. It's called Guardian Bravo. It's the one with the big electric whip. And Boyega describes it as big, stocky, and strong. It's said that Titan Redeemer will be a mystery rogue Jaeger, which is very interesting, but Titan Redeemer is said to be very strong and advanced. So I'm super interested to see what he means by rogue Jaeger. He goes on to state that Jaeger has big, huge guns on his chest, and is another 3-man team. Although there's 2 people in the helmet who are controlling the Jaeger, but then there's 1 person in the cockpit controlling the missiles from the chest. So it's not like it was in the first movie with, I think it was Crimson Typhoon, who was the 3-armed Jaeger. This one's more of like 2 people up top, 1 person manning the guns. But those sound like they're going to be our 4 main Jaeger for the movie, and that concludes the interview Boyega did. I'm very interested to find out who the other rogue Jaegers are in the movie. We do know there's going to be another rogue Jaeger who's an evil rogue Jaeger, but we don't know, because clearly it looks like Titan Redeemer is going to be a good guy, considering we see him fighting alongside of the other Jaegers. So I'm very interested to see how this movie plays out. It seems super interesting. That does it for this one, guys. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. See you guys next time. D-Man, out.